Hello everybody, one and all. I'm just feeling this makeup like got me honest, like I feel so glamorous, and this is all drugstore. So today, as you can see by the title, we're doing this look here. We're doing a kind of fall, autumn, smoky cut crease with a glitter liner. You can probably just see that. Using my Sophdoesnails Extra Spice palette. I have never had so many requests. I listen. I love filming with this palette. I love using it. So that's what we've done today. And I really like how this look came out, like so much. Like, I'm just looking at myself a lot like, what is that? Hey. I've also brought in the glitter element, which you know I have to do in most looks, and it's using the collection Glam Crystals. This is in shade 15 Dig It. Got this yesterday and I dig it a lot. The only thing on my face that isn't technically drugstore is my lashes. I'm using Arwell lashes. They're not they're not cheap, but they're not expensive. They're less than £10 on, like, through Instagram, so I didn't get these at the drugstore, but they're not like super expensive lashes. I never wear super expensive lashes actually. Like, the thought of buying £40 Lily lashes makes me feel sick, so I wouldn't do that. If they were sent to me for free, I'd wear them, but I wouldn't buy them. I'm going to talk you through this eye from beginning to end. It's probably going to be fairly long, so when it gets to like my base makeup, I'm just like going to speed through that and do like a voiceover kind of, hopefully, if I can make that work. But I just want to show you that everything I'm using is drugstore, but I can't do skin on camera or this video would be like 35 to 40 minutes long, and I don't think anyone has the patience to watch me for that long. I need to stop blabbering. Stop. So after many requests, we're doing another Soph palette, Extra Spice look. I hope you like this. I hope it's kind of autumny enough. I was going to do like an orange smoky eye, but I was like, no, I want to do something a bit more funky. So this is what happened. And eventually, if you want to see how I got it, just keep watching. So we're just going to jump in. Like I said, we're using the Sophdoesnails Extra Spice palette. Literally have never ever had so many requests to keep doing looks with one palette, and I know it's because it's super affordable and people really love Soph and it's good quality, so I don't mind continuing doing lots of tutorials with it. So this is what we're going to do. Let's jump in. The first shade that I'm going to take, I'll try and tell you all my brushes as well because I'm really converted to Zoeva. So the first shade we're dipping into is Enchanted, which is this deep purple, and this is a Zoeva 231 Luxe Petite Crease brush. And I'm popping that on my outer corner and my lower lash line, just the kind of first part of it. And then I'm going to take that all the way through my crease. My base is set. I use concealer and then set it with powder. Sometimes I don't want the extra headache of trying to use a wet base. So I'm just really packing that colour into my crease, and you can see I've taken it way above my crease because I want this to be a dramatic, smoky, beautiful look. Beautiful as I can make it. Then I'm picking up a Zoeva 221 and dipping into the shade Mulled Wine, just this one here. I tap off the excess and I'm going to start blending out that first shade. We are taking this pretty high, like almost hitting the brow pretty much. Don't be too worried about how much you're blowing it out. The only thing I find with this that's different to my high-end palettes is that you do have to just add a couple more layers of pigment. So a couple more dips with a brush and a couple more extra going over just to add that full pigment. But apart from that, like once you've got the amount of pigment you want, like They're just as good as high-end shadows, realistically. I love my high-end shadows, I must admit, just because they do require less work usually. But yeah, this is just such a good palette. We all know this now. Then just on that same brush, I'm going to pick up the shade 21. And pop that in. Bring a bit more red into the look. A bit more kind of pinky red. So that's my like initial, just like laying down my colours, but I need to go back in, re-intensify the purple, smoke it out more. So I'm going back in with Enchanted. On a smaller brush this time, I'm using my Zoeva 224. And I'll pop that back into my crease. Because this needs to be pretty dark. And this brush is good at just packing that colour on. Making sure that very outer corner is just as deep as the rest. We don't need to worry about fallout because we've not done our base yet. Just doing little circular motions with my brush. Now just to see where I am in relation to the other side, I'm going to pick up my, 221 again. I always wipe it off with my makeup towel. And I'm going to go in the shade Vitamin C, which is the bright yellow, which will come into play a lot in this look. And now I'm going to start sweeping that around the top. This just really ties in the lid shade, but also just helps blend these colours into my actual like skin, where there is no other makeup, and it just makes things look way better. Going back in with the shade 21 on my Zoeva 224 brush. Making sure I've got a nice gradient from that deep purple into this more red tone. It's like a red pink, isn't it? And then where it starts to hit the yellow, it should kind of naturally go a bit more orange and just help that fade. I don't know, I feel like I'm struggling more on this eye than I was with the other one. I need to get a pencil brush, and I'm just gonna pack on Enchanted at this outer corner, just because I feel like, I don't know, my shadow isn't looking the best on that outer corner. And then I'll just, oh, wrong brush, don't want to be using that one. Let's go back in with a fluffy brush, just tease it a little. I'm just going to go with a fluffy brush. This is the Jenny brush by Nima, and pick up a little bit of mulled wine and just kind of skate that around the edges. Just try and get my blend a bit better, because this girl's struggling. We're getting there. We're getting somewhere. This is starting to look better. It'll all make sense when we've got the cut crease on. I think that always makes a huge difference. I'm just going to pick up some of the shade Reputation, which is the black. Don't be scared. I'm going to pat this on my outer corner. It's actually a really good black. I think this is what I'm missing. This is what will make it match the other side a bit better. Then I'm grabbing the shade Enchanted and Mulled Wine. I'm just mixing them on my brush. And I'm just going to buff the edges of that black. That's good. I'm happy with that. When we get to our cut crease, this will all look better. Last step though, though, just before I'm like, ooh, done, I'm picking up Enchanted on my pencil brush. And I'm just patting that over the black just to keep it more purple toned and not like a straight up black. But it's got the depth, but it's not just like, yeah, I'm losing my voice. It's not just straight up black. Okay, now I'm gonna cut the crease, because I'm actually pretty happy with that. I don't think I can like achieve much more. So I'm using my Meron colour wheel. I got this on Just My Look. You don't need this, you could just use like a liquid concealer, whatever one you have, just pop it in the back of your hand and do it that way, but this is just how I like to do it. Now, taking a pencil brush, this is the Blank Canvas E28 brush. I'm itchy. I'm just like drawing a chubby line on my eye, and then when I open it you can see that's transferred up. I'm just being so willy-nilly about this. I'm just rounding that out. Main thing is to make it match the other one, so just really take your time. I suggest getting like really close to a mirror, being able to like rest your elbow on your desk and just really having patience and time to just make it as neat as you can. And if I open my eye, you can see that's got completely lost in my crease because it like straightens out. So what I do is I open my eye completely, and then, sorry, I'm going to show you without putting the mirror in the way. I'll draw the line just above my crease. So that when my eyes open, you can still see that line. And now what I'm going to do is just get really close to a mirror, put my elbow on the desk and just straighten it out, really curve it and make it pretty, and then we'll come back and blend it together. But I do really struggle to get this on camera unless you can do it like this, because now I can lean on my desk. And then I'm actually quite surprised I managed to do most of that on camera. I'm taking this tiny little Morphe brush. It doesn't actually have a name, it's just this tiny little flat thing. And then I start patting where the concealer is meeting that deep shadow, and I'm like wiping it off on my makeup towel so that I'm like getting rid of excess concealer, and I'm like dragging that matte shadow into it. It's okay if it looks a bit like messy, but it's more about getting this outside edge, the concealer, as thin as possible, and so it's not just like a chunk of concealer. And just like dragging it to kind of start the blend. See, that already looks better. And then I took my flat concealer brush, this is the ABH A4, and I'm just patting out the concealer on my lid. Then picking up my Soph palette, I'm just going to kind of move back a bit right now. And my ABH A2 brush, which is just a flat brush, just loading up my brush with colour, picks up really well, and then just pat it on. You can see it's pretty vibrant, it's a good yellow. Don't smudge it though, just pat it. because you just want it to cling to the concealer, and that's what makes it way more vibrant. But if you start like dragging your brush over your eyelid, it'll just like disrupt the concealer below it. Perfect. So now we can move on to blending this outer edge and making it look great. Okay, so now we can start making the gradient like we've done on this eye. So I'm immediately just dipping into Enchanted on my Morphe M506. Really like this brush. I'm gonna start patting that in a kind of diagonal-ish way. See what I mean? Not just straight. That's such a good colour. Same brush, I'm gonna pick up mulled wine. And then I even dipped into the shade Sweet and Sour as well. On my other eye, I felt like it just helped with the blend. Dipping into Sweet and Sour. Still in that like diagonal line, because it just looks so cool when you put your liner on. Just do a straight line if you don't want to do this, but I just think this adds just a little bit more interest to it. And then dipping in a little bit of brownies, just to increase the depth. You can see we're starting to get that gradient, we're not there yet. Then on my Morphe M506 as well, just because I love this brush for blending, it's just the right shape. Picking up vitamin C, just tapping that over, really just tapping. And then if you feel you've gone too far, just pick up more yellow and just tap that over the edges. I'm pretty happy with that, so now we're going to throw on some liner. So for the fun part, I'm going in with this Collection Glam Crystals. I think this is maybe a new shade because I only saw this the other day and I just picked up immediately. This is shade 15 Dig It. And I've done a swatch. Don't know how much you'll be able to see. It's black and gold, so I think it's got like black glitter and gold glitter in it. And we're just going to paint that all over the black eyeliner, which is now dried. Wait until it dries before you do this. I just feel this just adds that little touch. Oh, I just love it. This colour. I think it must be new because I've got most of the Glam Crystals. And I've done quite a thick line because I really want it to stand out and be, you know, really part of the look. Like that. So I'm going to go clean out my fallout. I'm trying not to open my eye too much to like smudge it. Going to clean out my fallout, put on all of my base, and we'll come back and do the lower lash line. Because this video is going to be way too long. We've already been filming for like an hour and 3 minutes, so yeah, I don't want to have this going on forever. So we'll come back to lower lash line and lashes, and bye. So for skin, I'm going in with 2 different shades of the new Makeup Revolution one, the Conceal and Define Foundation. I'm using F5 on the kind of like outskirts of my face, and then I'm using F2, is it? I think it's F2 now, I need to check. F3 on the inner parts of my face. I actually think mixing the two gives me a really good shade, so that's what we're doing. For concealer, I picked up the new Sleek Life Proof, and yeah, wow, I'm really impressed with this. I can't wait to try it like again, because to me the coverage is really good. You can probably see it when I'm applying it. I really like it. This is shade 2 because in Boots all shade ones were sold out, but there was a couple left. They were all opened and swatched, and I was like, no, not buying those. So yeah, shade 2, and I think it's got really nice coverage actually, so I'm highly impressed with that so far. I then, by the way, I powdered off camera because I just forgot I was filming, and I used a Kiko powder, so still drugstore. It's actually on sale at the moment for like a £5, and so yeah, I will link it below. So to contour, I'm actually using the shade Cookie Dough from the palette. I just wanted to try it out and see if it'd work, and actually kind of does. Kind of looks like a bruise, but actually that's kind of good. Really kind of, I'm gonna not say kinda again. I just think it works. I think it works, so that's what I use for my contour. And then to bronze, of course, I'm using my I Heart Revolution Summer of Love bronzer. I think it's great. It's got a sheen to it. It's great for pale skin. It's just a great bronzer all round, and they do come in deeper shades, so if you are more of a medium or deeper skin tone, there are different ones you can pick, but Summer of Love is definitely good for those of us with pale skin. And I also really like the brush I use. I use a BH Cosmetics one. I'm trying to remember the name of it. It is the V3 from Beauty Bay. Very, very cheap, but very good. For highlight, I'm using the Revolution Pro Highlight Palette in Supreme Highlighter Ice. And I'm using the middle shade, the gold shade. Oh mama, that is blinding. I love it a lot. I'm really glad I didn't declutter this. It's lovely. I'm kind of putting that all over my face because I feel like being very blinding as possible today. And for blush, I'm using my L'Oreal Life's the Peach. Love this blusher. It's phenomenal. It's drugstore. It's pretty inexpensive. I wouldn't say it was cheap. It's like £8 or something, which I think is quite expensive actually for drugstore, but it's very, very good. So moving into the under eye after all of that, I am going to take the shade Enchanted, which is the really deep purple, and run that along the old lower lash line. We're going smoky, as you can see. I am aware I'm getting some fallout. I'm just going to flick it off. Just hope I don't get too much more. Then I'm going to go in the shade 21 and just pack that along just underneath where I put that first shade. I want to bring that colour in as well. Oh, this palette, by the way. And then the shade Vitamin C. That brings in the yellow from above and our cut crease. Just helping tie everything together. And then I even went in with a bit of Reputation, which is the black. Just to really deepen it up. Okay, highlight. We're going in with the Revolution Pro Highlight Palette. I'm going to grab the gold shade in the middle. So pretty. Like this. Lower lash mascara. Any mascara will do. Guys, we're pretty much there. I'm going to throw on a lip and then we're done. Finally. I've been filming for like 4 hours. Not joking. Well, holy mackerel, chaps. We're done. I'll of course link everything down in the description box that I've used, but my lips are just a Primark lip liner. Scratch my face. And then a Primark lipstick, so still drugstore. I am really, really happy with how these eyes came out. I know they're not perfect, but yeah, I really, really think they're cool. I think they're quite a statement, and that glitter liner just kind of sparkling I think really adds quite a lot. I wasn't even gonna do liner, and then I was like, nah, just do it. I was gonna do wings, but I'm quite happy I just stopped it at the end. Really happy with the skin, obviously everything drugstore. Yeah, what do you think? Even put a highlighter on my body, see? I look just healthy and glowy. Bit more. Yeah, really happy with how it came out. You know this palette is just so good. I will never stop using it, really. It's so good. But what also I really loved in this look, I think really brought it together, is that new Glam Crystal. It doesn't say it's new on it, maybe it's not and I'm just behind, but number 15, dig it. So yeah, hope you enjoyed this video. I know it's probably quite a long one, but that's me. Thank you so much for watching. Yeah, I really hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you on the flip side. Bye.